Tech was just kind of beginning. The tech world was starting to evolve, and B of A kind of dominated it.
At Stanford, when I was teaching this class to the Graduate Construction School of Management students, which had students from all over Europe, South America, Middle East, as well as the business school and engineering school students. When you teach them about the financing opportunities that are available, the natural question comes in and says, I've got this idea to start a business, where can I get the money?
Well, they weren't funding startups. They weren't making loans to startups. Didn't have some kind of a profitable operation or an operation going, was the basic mentality of banking at that time.
When you've gone through from the real estate side and been rejected by some of these big banks, you can sit there and all of a sudden come into the fact, well, maybe there is an opportunity for a bank to be in the high technology sector.
At some point, we're kind of discussing the fact, Bob expressed disgust with the fact he couldn't finance some of his equipment lending or real estate lending.
In 1980-81, Bill Biggerstaff and I were good friends, and I asked him to join me in exploring this idea if he was interested.
Bill was an old school banker, a real sales guy, a guy that, that was always seeking out those opportunities that other people perhaps didn't see.
We decided let's have one where we really specialize in startups, get to know them, the product and the people, and we're really lending to people.
There are three individuals who started a poker group, and I was one of them, and I won't get into all of them, but some of them are well-known names in the Valley.
The mythology around Silicon Valley Bank is that it was during this poker game that the very first idea for Silicon Valley Bank was hatched or conceived. And the idea was quite simple, that the burgeoning tech and life science companies that were blooming like so many wildflowers in the Valley at the time were substantially underbanked, if not unbanked.
We had 7, I think, in the poker group, and they all were investors in the bank once it started. And I've been very happy that they were.
Roger Smith was not the founder, but he was the first CEO. Roger Smith was the first CEO of Silicon Valley Bank. And he had a lengthy career in banking, I think most notably with Wells Fargo Bank.
So we were doing a lot of work. Bob Noyce from Intel was a personal client, Fairchild was clients. And so from that, then I was hired to take over a group called the Special Industries Group at Palo Alto Square, where we dealt with the technology companies.
I personally always felt Roger was the ideal candidate because he was a good contact man and aggressive in chasing business.
I knew a lot of people. I knew all the venture capitalists in Silicon Valley because of our experience at the Special Industries Group.
Roger had a very good reputation, and the thing I liked about Roger was his dynamic enthusiasm.
He was focused on building the bank. He was focused on building the Silicon Valley Bank brand. And he was focused on growing the bank as quickly as we could.
We were aggressive in the marketplace. We were calling in the marketplace. Our people were out, including myself, every day, every night, calling on the companies that were starting up and some of the more substantial companies.
It really concentrated on deposits. And because if you really look at the independent banks, they're really deposit strapped. And we said, we're really going to concentrate on deposits. We used to joke that we know hundreds of people that want to borrow money from us, but we need to find people to put money in the bank. And clearly the technology market really lends to that.
He expected you to carry account opening cards with you. So we had, old-fashioned, triplicate form account cards because he always wanted you to be able to open a checking account on the spot.
The expectation was is you weren't going to be in the office. In fact, I think Roger would get upset if he walked around the bank and saw people in the office. You're supposed to be out in the marketplace, cultivating new business opportunities.
And we weren't going to have customers. We're going to have clients. And so every time we hired somebody from another bank, it took them a month or two to get to the client rather than the customer. And I think that set the tone.
Just that was another factor. What differentiated us from everybody else was the client service, which is still obviously alive and very, very well at Silicon Valley Bank. But yeah, we had mantras where if there was a phone ringing and we walked by the phone, we had to answer the phone. It didn't matter if it was your phone, any phone that was ringing.
We like to say we were businessmen, we just happened to be in the banking business. Because one of our highest compliments is people say, you guys don't seem like bankers. And I don't know exactly what that meant, but we were not stodgy. And I think at our base, we wanted to help our clients grow.
But I quickly came to understand, based on my interaction with regulators, based on my interaction with other bankers, that I had landed in a place that was really extraordinary, that was very special, that was different. And that was something that we all cherished. I mean, we prided ourselves in being unique and one of a kind. And we prided ourselves in having become a part of something that no one else dared to try.